to the market, and yes indeed the market is all excited with respect to the big GST reset that has been announced. GIFT Nifty for now is indicating a gap up of over 100 points right now. But with this, let me also welcome Sunil Subramaniam, market expert on the show right now. Mr. Subramaniam, a very good morning, and seems like a great morning for the markets as well. Post that 15th August, there was indeed a lot of excitement. But along with that, the consumption boost is what we are getting to pan out, or the announcements were clearly on the consumption boost side. Why don't you firstly help us understand that which, as per you, will be the key beneficiaries of the same in terms of the sectors?
I think this is probably as wide-ranging a regulation that we have seen, right? And it's not just consumption. I would say the Agri segment, the amount of giveaways they have given to the farmers through tractors, tires, and their equipment, the urea, even the fertilizers. So I think Agri is going to be a big beneficiary, and that's important. The second is, I think, the healthcare segment, right? They brought down the cost of a lot of medicines. At the same time, insurance premiums on healthcare have been slashed out, in terms of the GST. So I think that's a huge boost. While pharma companies may feel that there's no input tax credit, I think the volume increase because of this should make up for it. That's the second aspect. I'm going away from just pure consumption. The third, of course, is the fact that even from an exports perspective, you see the up the value chain, they have cut for textiles and all of that. So it's going to be again something that's going to help us counter the tariff. So I think, as I said, very well crafted. But most important overlying here, I would like to make 2 points. First is that when Mr. Modi announced it, there was already the expectation this would happen. But as you know, the group of ministers and then the council, there's the opposition which is there. So whether they would be able to get their buy-in, the states would be objecting to their loss of income. But I think it has been very smooth. And just in the space of a day, the country has come together. So in a way, I may take a lighter note that we should thank Mr. Trump that because of his tariffs, the country has come together to counteract this. And finally, I would say this is the natural consequence of fiscal and monetary policy benefits. It started with the tax cuts in the budget. It got supported by RBI with their rate cuts and liquidity infusion. And now with this fiscal policy, now the baton has passed from the government and the RBI to the corporate sector. Now it's up to them to pass on the full benefits of this to the customer, because that temptation will be there to look at the margins and say, should I pass on? But I think this is not the time for short-term thinking. I would encourage that the corporate should actually maybe take a little bit hit on the margins, but because the mood of the consumer is poised for change, because starting with the Navratri and Diwali and Christmas, right, they will be now in a spending mode. As you know, the tax cuts did not lead to a great consumption boost because people tended to save it more rather than spend. So mentally, I think this is the big thing because of the publicity this is going to get and a tremendous goodwill that it will be generating. I think the sentiment of consumers to shift, manufacturers should take advantage of this and come through and make sure the pricing is competitive, because banks, by reducing interest rates on their EMI, will support this. The government has supported. It's up to now the private and public sector manufacturers in this space to carry it through. And one final point, if I may add, see, about 60% of the rally in consumption has happened post Mr. Modi's announcement on Independence Day. There's about another 30-40% which will now follow through. But the big winner in this would be the fact that with the consumption boost, capacity utilization in the country will now go up. And as it crosses that magical 80% figure, we should see private capex. We already saw the L&T CEO say that there is a green shoots, but that's mostly in the power and infrastructure. But you need a wider capacity expansion from the private sector, and I see this as kickstarting that. So from a slightly medium-term perspective, I think this has been a huge boost to the overall economic growth of the country, which would naturally reflect in a stock market earnings over a period of time.
Right, Mr. Subramaniam, thank you so much for that. A very holistic view on how you expect this entire GST rate rationalization to play out for the sectors. And Soumil, just taking ahead from what Mr. Subramaniam was talking about in terms of the agri commodities. First up, let's talk about the agri space overall and fertilizers. You also have a slash coming in on fertilizers to 5% now, and all the chemicals also that are concerned with this entire fertilizer industry. Any stocks that you are liking, Soumil, from this pack right now? Are fertilizers looking more attractive on the back of this news flow?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'll just wait for with just wait for some confirmations. Let's say we are talking about Deepak Fertilizer, we are talking about SRF. SRF looks good. It has started high tops, high bottom, so that one stock looks good. So I would probably talk about SRF more. Has taken support at 200 daily exponential moving average, closing about 20 daily moving average. So SRF definitely looks good. Medium term trend is up. You can actually go long on the stock around, keep a stop loss around 2,880 and the target would be around 3,100. So I think SRF looks good. Deepak Fertilizer, I will wait. I have been positive on Deepak Fertilizer for a little while now, but in the medium term outlook, not in the very short term, because in the very short term it is sliding down and it is closing below 20 daily moving average. So I'll wait for a confirmation above 40 daily, which is 1500. If it closes above 1500 levels, I think that will be a good time to buy.
All right, so those are some of the fertilizer and chemical plays to watch out for. But with this, let me also welcome Rajesh Parmer on the show right now. Hi Rajesh, good morning, and seems like it's turning out to be good morning for the markets as well. But Rajesh, auto sector, that has got a whole host of announcements from passenger vehicle to commercial vehicle and also the tractor space as well. If you can firstly help us with your take and your top bets within the auto pack right now, because they have already seen a very good run up post that 15th August date. But for now, anything that is still looking attractive to you?
Good morning, Sasti. Good morning, everyone. So, looking at the announcement, I think there would be a cheer rally would be there in the market, and I think on the index front, we are going to have a breakout about 24,700 and then possibly rally can extend further. Moving to the auto sector, the sector is in the uptrend. If we analyze the most of the auto stocks, be it two-wheeler, be it four-wheeler space, most of the stocks are showing good traction since last couple of weeks. And looking at the near-term, short-term structure, we do believe that we could see further more continuity of uptrend, though we have already seen a good amount of rally in most of the stocks. So I think from two-wheeler space, we believe that Hero Motor, Bajaj Auto, TVS Motor, all these three stocks can continue further more upside as the near-term, short-term structure are bullish for this counter. So one can look to buy Hero Motor, Bajaj Auto and TVS Motor from two-wheeler space. And looking at the four-wheeler space, I think Maruti is looking very promising, and the way Maruti is holding above all its important moving averages, I think there is a possibility of 15,300 to 15,500 we could see in Maruti in the continuation of this up move. So one can look to buy this stock also. Again, Ashok Leyland is also looking very promising, the way stock is consolidating at a higher band of rally. So I think here also one can focus to buy. Any breakout above 134 can take this stock further higher to 145 to 150. So I think most of the auto stocks as well as auto ancillary all are looking good, and I think further more continuity of uptrend post this announcement can continue in this sector.
Right, okay, so that's the take coming in on autos. But Mr. Subramaniam, another sector that stands to benefit largely is the insurance sector, now that the GST on insurance premiums on both life and health have been waived off. What are you making of this news flow in terms of how this could boost the penetration in India, and what could the timeline here be?
I think that it will be a huge boost for the penetration, because psychologically, this will be a tilting factor, because the fact that something that a common man needs was being taxed was not generally received well, and probably a little bit of hesitancy there. But this announcement will bring it to the fore into people's minds. And I think the baton also lies on the private insurers now. Why I'm saying this is that, as you know, input tax credit, they may not get. So because of which there will be a temptation to pass on some of the GST thing to the customer, right? The lack of input tax credit. So if the industry plays it carefully and looks at the larger picture, in terms of the volumes that it will generate for them, right? And do not worry too much about short-term profitability, right? I think it will be great for the expansion. So you got to wait and give it time for this to get played out. In the short term, there might be a reaction in insurance stocks because of the fact that, there'll be a hit to their P&L because of this. But I think that's a balanced approach is needed here. And I think any price corrections in the insurance space should be a good accumulating point, because ultimately this is a huge positive for the overall penetration, and which, as you know, we're still lagging way behind the developed market in terms of insurance penetration.
All right, that's the take coming in on the insurance pack. Well, of course, a whole host of sectors will be in focus on the back of the GST announcement. But interestingly, there are so many block deals that are seen to be